Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti from anthonymorganti.com, and this is episode 70 of Photo Critiques. And in Photo Critiques, people send me in some of their best work, and I critique each image with suggestions on how they can improve it. And today, I'm pleased to critique the work of Saurav Kartel. I hope I pronounced your name right. And he sent a really nice, strong group of images to me, and let's start with this one. This is kind of a classic shot. Those of you that aren't familiar with this, if you photograph a water droplet and the background is bright enough, whatever's in the background will be reflected in the water drop, usually upside down. So you get an upside down representation of what's behind you. So it's a really nice shot. A little tip, if you ever want to do this and you want to kind of stage it, get some corn syrup, like Caro syrup, something like that. And corn syrup, of course, is real heavy and thick, and you could use an eyedropper and put it right where you want it, and it will usually stay there unless it's really, really warm out. But it will stay right where you put it. And put the Caro syrup in the refrigerator before you bring it out to use, and it's even thicker. And it will reflect just like this. It'll be a very easy to use. Of course, when I do it, for some reason, I don't know how I do it, I get it all over my fingers and I get the sticky corn syrup all over my cameras, so it's always a mess if I try to do it. But hopefully you are as messy as I am. It's a really nice shot. The bee, very nice focus. I always talk about make sure the eye's in focus. This shot here, the resolution isn't super good, so it's a little bit blurry as I look at it. It's a f of 5.6, which usually you have to use, because of lighting conditions, a little wider aperture. And you want a wider aperture so the background goes into bokeh. It really gets a blur to it. So, this shot's just about perfect in that regard. The background is really nicely blurred out. The only thing I would suggest on this one is the crop. I don't think the crop is very becoming to the subject. We have kind of this leaves over here in this kind of wilted or unopened flower over here that are a little bit distracting. So I would say let's crop this, and I would bring this side in, enough in so you're eliminating the leaves there. And I think I'd bring the bottom up like this. It's hard to get it perfect, because typically, as I mentioned many times, you want the animal to be looking into the bigger part of the frame. So you would hope the bee was facing the other way and looking into the larger part of the frame. But that's a suggestion. I'm always hesitant to call it a rule. But in this case, I think it's all right. I think it's a stronger image like this. You could add to the effect too by adding a vignette. And if you add a vignette, it'll help draw the viewer's attention towards the middle of the frame where the bee is. It's a tough decision on how to crop your pictures, I admit, because you're always second guessing yourself. So when in doubt, try to use, the rule of thirds. If I could have got this bee's eye right over a cross area, then, that would have been good, if in doubt. If not in doubt, if you have an idea, what do you want to look for, by all means, just do it. Use your own creative vision, and don't worry about rules and things like that. Very nice shot, very nice exposure, very nice processing. I love the colors. We have contrasting colors. I always talk about, try to get colors involved in your photograph that are at opposite ends of a standard color wheel, or near opposite ends. So you'd have yellow opposite purple and orange opposite blue, and these are contrasts. And usually you'd have one dominate over the other. The other one will be a splash of that color. And very nicely done in this instance. So you have the very warm colors here and the very cool colors here. So it's a very nice in that regard. The composition itself, it looks like we're maybe in a park. We have a chain link fence. This tree's cut off over here, and this tree jutting out over here. I don't know. I think maybe if I would have you know, if you could have moved over maybe to the left just a little bit and got all of this tree in and eliminated this tree, it probably would have been a little stronger of an image. As it is, it's a very nice, you know, very nicely done, and I like the processing. It's a very nice shot. This is an HDR shot because it says it's tone mapped. Very well done. On this one, I know what you shot vertically, I know, because you wanted to get the pool in the reflections, and that does add a lot to the shot. I think though, if you maybe, I don't know, see, it's a hard scene to say. I think a horizontal shot would have been strong too, because we're cutting off part of the botanical gardens in the background, and that just doesn't look right. So you gotta, it's sometimes photography is a game of trade-offs. You're going to lose a lot of the reflections if you shoot horizontally, but you're going to gain more of the building. So shoot them both. Try it this way, try it horizontally, try a different lens. You're at 11 millimeters on your lens. Try it at 16 and move back, and maybe you could have got the building in and the water in. It's really hard to judge by looking at the shot what you could have did, because I don't know the scene. I don't know, maybe there was a road directly behind you and you couldn't step back. But try different focal lengths, try different lenses and things like that. But in general, I think it would have been a stronger shot if you could have somehow got this entire building in the shot. This is a very cool shot, very nicely balanced. Focus is perfect. You know, I think if I remember right, Saurav said he's only been taking photographs for less than a year, and as you can see, he's very advanced, doing a very, very nice job. And this shot here, you know, the fire rescue truck, a very nice exposure. I think this is another one though where you would have, if you could have worked the scene. I don't know if you drove this truck here or someone else drove it here that you know that could have positioned it in maybe a different spot, so you could have took advantage of, looks like a pond over here. There's tire tracks here, maybe you could have utilized that as a leading line. So something to work the scene, and in the case of if you could have moved the truck around, that's manipulating the scene. So I think that, you know, keep that in mind all the time. This is a very strong image, but I think if the scene, the interesting sky, the pond over here, and the interesting truck itself, I think if you manipulated and worked the scene, you could have got a stronger image out of it. And this is a beautiful image. This is fantastic. Very nice exposure, very nice clouds, the colors very warm, sunrise, sunset, whatever it is, it's beautiful. I mentioned this in many critiques. We have this kind of starburst effect with the sun, and you could get that with any pointed light source. That could be the sun, it could be a street lamp, it could be a light bulb. And the way you would do that is you just pull your aperture down, and usually the magic spot is f13. Now I warn you that not all lenses will do it, because it's dependent on the way the internal lens was made, the diaphragm was constructed. So not all lenses will do it, and some lenses do it really well, and some lenses do it but not that great. And obviously in this lens it did it really nicely. f13 got the nice starburst effect, and it's a beautiful shot. This is very nice. And that's it for Saurav. Thank you very much for sending us your images. Very talented young man. If I remember right, you're very young too. I'm sorry I don't remember all these things. I've been getting so many critiques. I mean, I get a lot every day, and now I'm trying to do at least 2 a day so I could keep up with them, and people have been waiting now over a month. I appreciate everyone's patience who have sent me critiques. I'm going to do each and every one. I do them in the order I get them. So thank you for your patience. And thank you, Saurav, for sending me in your images. And thank you, everyone who watches all my videos. I really do appreciate it. And go over to my website, anthonymorganti.com. I got all kinds of photography stuff over there for you to look at. And if you have time, go over to YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate that. And that's it for now. I'll talk to you guys soon.